Podcast City Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get out, get knocked down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And tonight is a very special podcast with the one and only Angel Orsini. How are you doing, huh?
How you doing? That's the question.
That's it. My gosh, you're right. I'm making it special tonight, right? Because you are special to me and everybody in the world of wrestling. Come on, But anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm getting ready for defending this title belt right here. I've been training really hard, and I'm digging it.
Yeah, that looks like that's not a wait a minute. That's not the Titan title though.
No, here, take a close look.
Ooh, the Spartan title right there, folks. If you see it right on her shoulders, she just won that, and she's proud to be their champion. But she's going to be another champion in a couple. God, we're 16 days away from the Titan Championship Wrestling. It's party time, kids of wrestling. It's party time, and you're taking on one Debbie Kane for the title. Ooh.
Yeah, she's gonna get what's coming to her. She did me dirty last time, but it was very crafty, okay?
Yes.
And so I respect that. Being, I'm a little opportunistic sometimes myself, but I have changed my ways. I'm a little bit more on the straight and narrow. I'm actually a Christian, and I really try to live my life differently than I was in my wild days.
Yeah, the old wild days.
Yeah, I was a bit of a rebel. So,
Right.
I've kind of set that aside, and I'm trying to do things the right way now. I have 25 years of pro wrestling under my belt. I'm an ECW original. I have seen some stuff go down, bro.
I know you have over the years, and it's crazy and look where you are today. You're still spreading the word wrestling, getting out there and doing what you'd love to do, and fighting new people and old people and just like legends and this and that. There's a lot of girls out there that are hungry, on the scene today.
Good.
I'm sure you're noticing that. It's really a lot of very, very impressive, female talent that's being just put to the test and spotlighted these days on AEW. It's just amazing. It's just really is. What do you think of that so far? Like remember, like WSU was like a turning point for the career, and a lot of these girls just kept going, and look where they are today. Mercedes Martinez, there she is. We're so proud of her.
Absolutely. I remember when she was training at Jason Knight's school. I was in ECW, and he had a Salt Championship Wrestling dojo over in Waterbury, Connecticut, and I think that was where it was. And I remember working out with her, and as a matter of fact, she was my tag team partner on some indie shows that I work in that area. And I take pride in her development. Absolutely. I've always treated her like a little sister, but I've had many women in my career that I have mentored and treated my little sister. Molly Holly, I was her first trainer before she met Lanny Poffo and was training with them. And also Serena Deeb, actually, when I was in OVW. I was training the girls over there. And then also Mickey James a little bit. She was trained. That was in WEW and Dangerous Women of Wrestling in Delaware and like Philadelphia area.
That was the
And,
crazy wrestling. I remember that. That was the crazy wrestling. All the boobs and this and that, and you name it was in that. You know, just a crazy night of wrestling, hardcore action.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Well, let's be clear. Angel Orsini was not flashing any boobs. I was carrying the ECW torch and the tradition of the Philadelphia street fights, pinfalls count anywhere in the building, ladders, steel cage. You know, won the belt there in a steel cage match in a 4-way. You know. I feel like
I think
you know,
I still have
women.
a couple of those I still have those DVDs on my shelf collecting dust somewhere. I think we all do.
You should watch them because what we did then was pave the way for the way things are now. You know, the way things.
For
absolutely.
The women's division of wrestling and how they can tell their stories as a for like building up towards a hardcore match and just the way that was based around like being extreme, almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, the way things are now, I have to say that I love it. But we could have had it this way 10 years ago. Let's be real. We had enough women and, we were held back. So, but I'm so glad to see it happen now. I'm thrilled, over the moon, to see it be happening and be able to be a part of it. That's why I'm still doing this thing, because I want to make sure these traditions, this style, this way, this athleticism, this way of telling the story for women, that it carries on. And so I'm in the trenches, man. I'm on the front line. I'm doing the damn thing, and I'm going to keep doing it. As long as I got breath in me, I'm going to keep doing this damn thing. Hell yeah.
And
stomping mud holes through people and whatever.
I know. And like I say to everybody else, I've seen your career grow over the years. I've seen where you've been in many of our carny days of wrestling. I'd say carny, but no, this is great.
It's true. You remember Florida Championship Wrestling and Sunshine Wrestling, and that was the carnival. That's where it was.
NWS crappy wrestling. Yes, that's the carny of wrestling. Yes, yes, that was.
Yes, that's right. Over in New England, right? And we did those fairs over there. Oh my goodness.
That was the Jersey Fed. One of my friends died. I was going to tell you one of my friends died, who was a part of the fan club of us. Loved you, my friend John. Big John. He was like a big overset guy.
Oh,
I know.
That's sad.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I know. He was a great fan though. He was always loved, being at the shows with his girlfriend, and but that's that. But yeah, but all the years I actually just saw the recent match. It was you versus somebody. God, what was her name? But anyway, they were in the crowd. We were in the crowd, and I saw it. I was like,
oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
The one in Kenilworth?
Yeah, probably like one of those. God, what's her name? She's
PJ Webb?
No. You always wrestled her every show. Annie Social, I believe.
Oh, okay. Annie Social. Yeah. That was that one for WSU was a really good match with her and I. I saw it on YouTube. Right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. They were in the crowd. Yeah. I was in the crowd. I didn't realize I'm blending in. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I know that must have been a long time. Yeah, that was for the cup. That was the women's cup, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah, that's probably like 10 years ago.
So 10 years ago, but now look at yourself today. Where are you today? You're just back on you just got the phone call to come back to the Jersey Shore. Like that's like, nostalgia, coming back to Bayville, New Jersey, where it all you think about it, like all the fun times of wrestling happened,
Oh, I love Bayville. Bayville's a
Yeah.
great place. The Jersey Shore is a great place. I live
Yes.
at the Jersey Shore, so
I do.
I'm
I do too. You know where I actually live? I'm in Brick Township. I'm right between Seaside and Point Pleasant.
nice.
I, so
So
I'm
you
right
get
there.
invaded by all the bennies in summer.
Uh, yeah, but I don't even bother going down to the beaches like I used to, But I still here and there, I'll go to bars or go
Yeah,
away.
no, I'm on a boat, baby. Boats
Yes.
and hoes, that's me. Except for I'm not the hoe.
No, you are not. No.
No.
No, that's a negative.
I just
No.
make sure they don't fall off the side of the boat,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like security,
yeah. Or get
so that
arrested
my
or get arrested and go overboard. I saw that on the news. That was crazy. The girl
oh
got
no.
arrested and drunk and just I guess she was shark bait after that. Oh well.
Oops.
Yeah. But
Not a good idea.
no. No, so this is like a homecoming for you, basically, almost like just to have fun and just come back and see faces and people you probably haven't seen in quite a while at Titan.
Yeah. It was well, the first time I
And
fought Debbie,
I wish I was
I
there.
saw
I wish I was there for that one. I never was, but I found the trend of their promotion, Goddesses of War, and fantastic job they are. I can't wait for the next one to come out. They just knock it out of the park.
yes, they're excellent and very well organized. And it
Mhm,
was like a reunion. It was
mhm.
great to be there.
Yeah.
And I did get to see some girls I haven't seen in a long time. And some of the boys were there. And that
Mhm.
was good too. It's family. Wrestling is family. And
It is to see Steve Munster back and to see Magic and everybody else. Louie, come on!
yes.
It's like it's great to see everybody still doing what they'd love to do. You know?
I mean, I feel that way when I watch AEW, right? I mean, I see Eddie
Yeah,
Kingston up there and I'm like, yeah, yeah,
Eddie, I know doing his thing,
yeah.
promos that we're proud of him because he struggled for years with that stuff. Hey, and got himself to where
I
he is today.
remember him. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember him well. I think every time I ever wrestled in Brooklyn, I think he was on the
Mhm,
show, you
mhm.
know?
Yeah, yeah, him and Homicide, or just be in the crowd watching. You know,
Yeah.
and,
Exceptional
yeah,
wrestlers.
mhm,
It just goes to show you, and this kind of like goes with
mhm,
my path that I'm on now,
yeah,
which is, you never give up on your dream.
mhm,
And another thing that I'm doing besides pro wrestling is I do health and wellness coaching. And I
mhm,
have Elevated Living as a business that I'm going to be launching very soon, probably within the next like 30 days. I definitely within the next 60 days, it'll be fully going. And we do positivity coaching, we do mindfulness. And I think that during this time where we have a war going on and uh, pandemic has been raging for 2 years, people need to find ways to be able to be motivated and not overwhelmed by darkness and anxiety. And it's a
mhm,
real thing. And I happen to know a lot about it.
mhm,
When I was young and when I was a teenager, I was attacked and I was almost murdered by a serial murderer. Uh, Two other girls were killed in the neighborhood where I lived,
ooh,
and I really wasn't aware of it. And I literally had to fight for my life, and it was horrific. It was like a horror show, and I'm lucky that I lived. But after that, I had severe, PTSD, and I suffered from depression and anxiety. And I took control of my life back when I decided to pursue my dream of martial arts. I had always
yeah,
wanted to do martial arts, and I had been an athlete in track and
mhm,
gymnastics my whole youth.
yeah,
And so I pulled myself up out of that darkness and got into martial arts and took control of my life. And so my whole path led me to where I am now. And I've learned a lot of things over that period of time. And I want to share that wisdom with people because I know it will help them through this time. I think everybody's affected by this darkness. And wrestling is great because going to a wrestling show is going to help you take your mind off of these things, you know?
It does. It clears our mind to see what's, and you're watching a show and it's like going to the movies, you just want to sit there and enjoy what's on the screen and laugh and have a, heckle and do all the good stuff.
And yell and cheer for the hero and boo the villain. It's great because you can participate. You're not just at a movie theater where you're just watching. You get to participate too. And that's what I think is really wonderful about pro wrestling. And I think that's
and now that all the pandemic stuff's over with, it's really it's like it's coming to an end. That's good, thank gosh. For a lot of people to come out finally to a show, because I always hear people, I can't make it because I'm home. Don't worry, you can watch it on TV. You can still watch it, be supportive. Even though
yeah. I mean, I think if anything, this pandemic taught us that, we are vulnerable in this way and we get through this. And now we have like data. Now we can look back at past experience and say, this is what worked and this is what didn't work. Because, microbes, viruses, bacteria, molds, funguses, they're still there. They're going to keep evolving just like we do. So who knows? But at least, we're a little bit more prepared, I think, for the reality of that. And there's all kinds of wrestling on TV, and there's all kinds of wrestling, in your local area if you can't.
And streaming. Oh my gosh, Fight TV, IWTV. Like, you go back to the archives, you can see WSU, you can see all the Shimmer wrestling. You can see all the Shine.
WEW is on Pluto TV now. So people can watch and see how the full-breasted Italian came to be. That was some good stuff.
Yeah. It's just everybody needs to learn. Like, there's wrestling everywhere. If you go and see it, like, first time going to a show, what was it like for you as a kid? Growing up, you went to a show. What was your first show you went to? Let's see.
I never went to a show growing up. I didn't have that kind of childhood. Yeah, it wasn't like that. I was never home. I participated in sports. We were really, really poor, and we didn't. I think I went to like maybe 2 concerts growing up. And that was like a really big deal. Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, I'm a typical Jersey girl.
Yes. The hometown guy, like Bon Jovi was, It's like.
Yeah. And then I didn't really get to do stuff until I was out on my own. So. But yeah. First wrestling show I went to, I think it was.
Yeah.
Sunshine Wrestling or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. It was awesome. I was like, look at these crazy people. I think these are my kind of people.
I could do this. I think I could do this, right? Yeah. So
well, I was already doing martial arts and I was already fighting in mixed martial arts. So I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. It's less bloody, less likely to
knock a tooth out. Yeah.
And then what did I ended up specializing in stuff that made me like, the most dangerous, high risk kind of wrestling is what I ended up being attracted to.
I know. Fighting all the females and just going on a ladder.
Actually, I was fighting guys too. I'm one of the first women that did that.
Angel, may I have one of my co-hosts join us tonight? Everett Lee. He's so great. He's out of Daytona, Florida. He would love to join us.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Please do. Sure.
Absolutely. He's Everett Lee. How are you?
Not too bad. I wish. Hi, Angel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Go ahead.
How you doing?
Yep. I'm doing pretty good. I wish David would have hit me up and let me know. It's like, hey, I want you to join in tonight. You left me hanging, dude.
Sorry.
Oh, well.
But actually, you know what, Angel? Speaking of martial arts, his daughter just went to martial arts before he texted me. Actually, so there you go. Right?
Awesome. Yeah. It's great for girls. Yes. Women need to know self-defense.
It is. They definitely do. They definitely do. And she's doing good. She's doing good. She has a little bit of problem listening because of the being a hyperactive 4-year-old. She turns 5 this weekend. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. When I was teaching in martial arts, I had the little ninjas, and that was from 4 to 6 years old kids. Yeah, they were great. Yeah, they're little Kias. Oh my God, they're precious.
Oh yeah. She's like, hiya, hiya. She does it great, man. She does.
Everett, before we were talking about like women's extreme wrestling was a big popular thing. Do you remember those way back? She was a part of this whole. That's where her career really came.
I briefly remember because there's so much wrestling that I didn't get into and know about until later on that existed back then, because there was a big gap where I didn't watch wrestling from 2007 to like 2013 or 2006 to 2013. I didn't watch wrestling at all. I just got out of it there for a while. And then in late 2013, 2014, I got back into it and noticed a lot's changed and was able to go back and catch up on things. And there's still stuff I didn't know that was around back then and stuff, but I'm catching up on it here and there as time goes on.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you should do your homework. Got to go back and check it out. It was really good stuff, and I think WEW really started probably 2003.
2003, probably around that time. I was watching all I knew was WWE at the time. That's 2003. Yeah, that's all I knew. I didn't know anything else existed out of that. And if anything existed,
they were so popular. They sold DVDs that were just everybody would buy them at the video store. Go ahead and look at the matches.
I'm still kind of out of touch with a lot of things. I'll admit that I'm out of touch with a lot of things. Even some of the stuff that's coming out today, I'm just like not wrestling, but stuff. I'm like, really? What is that? You know, I'm looking at it. It's like, oh, you got an app for that, or something. That's just me. It's like I catch up on it later after everyone has already discovered it.
I'm teaching him the new way of wrestling. He's getting a lot of new stuff that's interesting. Right, Everett?
Absolutely. The new stuff. I am. I mean, David's tuning me in and stuff. I'm the old school. I like the old 80s and attitude.
Angel, also, we were talking about OVW. We actually were just talking to. Go ahead, Everett. You could, if you want to. You were just talking to
Reverend Ronnie Roberts. I had him on my podcast Tuesday night. David was with me. That was great. That was great talking with Ronnie Roberts.
She trained a lot of the girls, Everett, which is really awesome.
In OVW?
Well, yeah, for a little brief time that I was there, when Paul was there and Al Snow, and actually CM Punk and let's see who else was there. Shelly Martinez and was Mickey James there? She might have been, she might have just left. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Serena Deeb was there. She was like, they were brand new, I love the really new people because I'm really good at breaking down the foundational basics that are really important, that'll carry you through as you develop your own style. And yeah, it's important to have good basics and a good solid foundation.
It is. I was talking a little bit with Ronnie on Tuesday about working in the ring and footwork and just being there at that, right moment and just everything flowing for a great match with a great story in the ring.
Story is everything. I mean, that is most important. I cannot stand matches where everybody's just doing whatever they can do. It's like you can tell they're just like, I can do this move, so I'm going to do this move. And I'm like, it makes no sense. Like, you're the bad guy. Why are you doing a Hurricane Rana? And you're, no.
Right. Exactly. Story. It. You have to tell that story in the ring. You definitely have to tell that story in the ring. Just like the chat right now, Angel.
It's on fire.
It's on fire. You got a bunch of questions right here. You want to answer some of these questions, man, because the people's asking some questions here.
Yes.
Questions here on Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast. Our first question comes from Dustin right here. What is the wildest story from your time in ECW?
The time that Sandman dropped his drawers in the middle of the ring in Pensacola, Florida. That was crazy. He was so wasted. Yeah. He just dropped his pants. And they were like live streaming on radio. And then people were holding eyes of their kids. Oh man, everybody. He had so much heat, man. He was in so much trouble.
He was always the heat person. You know that. You always got attention.
I mean, yeah, but this was really bad. I think he got suspended for that. So.
Joy wants to know, what are you planning to do now with your career?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, she's got a wrestling match, a couple matches she's got to take care of first.
So, I want to make sure that the style and the type of wrestling that I do is carried on. So I am looking for girls that are local girls that, want additional coaching and instruction. I'm training out of the ECPW dojo. That's Gino Caruso's up in Lake Hiawatha. And then when the Spartan Championship.
I've been there. A little small little dungy bowling alley. It was.
No, it's not anymore. It's a big school now. It's a really great area. It's actually a whole arena if you wanted it to be. Yeah. And then Spartan Championship Wrestling is starting their dojo, and I will also split my time and go there and teach there as well. And then I want to wrestle as often as possible. I mean, I'd like to wrestle every weekend, and I'm down for whatever opportunities come and knocking on my door for wrestling. I will open that door and go through it for sure. And I'm also interested in creating my own wrestling product.
Nice.
Yes.
She also has another question. She wanted to ask, how did you get into wrestling?
Well, I guess after I took my life back and was involved in martial arts, I really felt like I wanted to give back to women, right? Part of the problem for me was I had like a survivor's guilt. Like, why did I live and these two other girls died? And then I realized, that I have this natural fighting instinct. That's what encouraged me to get into martial arts and fighting. But I felt like I wanted to also be a role model for women that struggled with anxiety, struggled with depression. Maybe they had some kind of violence in their childhood or some kind of domestic violence in their life experience. And, they need encouragement and support. And so Elevated Living or health coaching, we're going to create a support group where other women and other survivors, not just women, but for the LGBTQ community, for men who were raised in a violent household, we have a lot of trauma, and it's hard to overcome it if we don't face it. It's going to rear its head, and it's going to self-sabotage us in certain ways that are unexpected. And so part of our positivity coaching is going to be creating that forum to create that sacred place for people to have that healing. Yeah.
Nice.
So
I love it, man. That's amazing. That is amazing. I love that. I definitely love that. And Christopher Anino, I'm probably saying that wrong, says that you are starring in Lollipop Gang. I don't know what he's talking about there. Can you shed some light on that?
I don't even know.
It's a comedy. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I helped write part of that as well, and
Cool.
yeah, I directed some scenes as well. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a really
She's not only
So-
an actor, but a comedian and an actor. Hey, I love wrestler.
Yeah, man.
That's it all.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you're on the right podcast for that there with David and me.
I know.
awesome. Yeah, it's so the premise of the Lollipop Gang is, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Rhode Island.
I have
haven't.
there. I have family.
I have.
My dad is raised in Westerly, Rhode Island. So
Oh,
I know.
So
Rhode
you
Island,
know.
yes.
My brother, when he was a first mate working for Jimmy Dean and Bill France from NASCAR years ago, he got to go to Rhode Island twice. And he shared some stories, which I will not share because there were pretty wild times in Rhode Island.
So this film, and there are people like this outside of Rhode Island also, but
Yeah.
Rhode Island is like, they have the big accent and everything, so
They
it's
do.
a lot of fun. But if you ever know anybody who knows somebody who's in the mafia, they think that by proxy they're in the mafia, and then they try to act like a mafiosa everywhere they go and in everything we do. So that's the premise of the Lollipop Gang. We make fun of that completely, and it's
Cool.
bad. We make bad fun of it.
So fans, you
That
need
is
to all
great.
check it out. Everybody,
That's
better
great.
check
He
that out.
also said that he put up another question here, or a fact. She's also
Yes.
the co-founder of the New England Music Hall of Fame.
Yes, I did. I helped co-found it. But Christopher and all of them, they run it now. And so I wish them really the best of luck with it. It's a beautiful thing because music does help heal people. And it's really important to help musicians. Musicians are really similar to pro wrestlers, right? You have like this, independent scene in pro wrestling, and you have like the pubs and bars that have musicians, and they really help us, tell the story of the greatest memories of our lives, like birthdays, anniversaries, holidays.
That's like Chris Jericho, how he's in part of that Fozzy band, and
Yeah, him doing, being with Fozzy. Yeah, definitely, David. Yeah.
that's cool. You know what I mean?
So so the New England Music Hall of Fame helps give people that credit that they deserve for, contributing to the New England music scene on the independent circuit, and all their contributions and how they're playing, inspires future generations of musicians. If we're not careful, we can lose the art of being a musician. It's a craft, it's an art, just like pro wrestling. You don't want people to just take computers and dubbing, and nobody knows how to play an instrument in the future. So it's important to protect the things that you love, and music is super important to me. It helped me on my journey, and so that's why I got involved with the New England Music Hall of Fame, to help get it started. And I'm glad that it's really succeeding and doing really well. They're great people.
Let me ask you who you're listening to now, since we're talking music. All right, come on.
Yes. What is on your? I don't know how to say this, because back in my day it was, what's in your CD player? What's on your iPod? That's me, man. What's in your CD player? What CD you listen to? What's iPod? We'll say, what is it nowadays? What are you streaming? I guess that's the new term, right?
Yeah.
What do you listen-
Or what's on Siri? Or Alexa.
Yeah, I have a ton of different playlists, and I have everything from reggae, and Missy Elliott is my all-time favorite. I love Missy Elliott, and but I also have Five Finger Death Punch, and I'm a metalhead. I my whole life, I mean, I'm cutting edge metal head. I love metal. But I don't like a lot of bad words and a negative message anymore because I am a Christian and I like positivity. So
sorry, my battery just went out of my headphone. I was replacing it, multitasking.
Whatever.
Yeah. I'm sorry because I'm sitting there talking and I can hear you talking. I'm like, I'm over talking her. So I apologize.
That's okay. And I love the blues when I go out. I love blues. I love rock. Those are my favorite things. Like when I go out to the scene, any kind of blues and rock or kind of variation, I'm loving it. I'm like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I love that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely too. Here lately, I've been listening to a lot of Kill Switch Engage for some reason. This band, and I just listening to them. Kill Switch is one of those bands that just hypes me up. Like this morning, I'm driving to work and I'm sitting there, I'm blasting Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius XM, and here I am. I'm listening to A Blizzard of Oz and No More Tears and Paranoid going to work.
What's really funny? My mom, that if I get in the car with my mom, Ozzy's Boneyard is on. My mom is like their number one fan.
What I was listening to today. Actually, it was Hell's Bells came on the radio by AC/DC, and I was like, wow, that's just like a classic. Just to listen to these bands growing up, but Post Malone is my favorite right now too, as well.
Yeah. Joy said when you're talking about Rhode Island, she said that's her hometown. Talking about, and then Christopher says that you're starring in a Circle of Champions history of women's pro wrestling. She did Jazz last match. Oh, really? I love me, David. What do you say? We'd love to hear that, wouldn't we?
Oh, well, Jazz was my tag team partner, and we went to Connecticut. I think it was Connecticut, or it might have been no, it was Connecticut. It was East Hartford, I think, Connecticut. And she was my tag partner, and we wrestled these two guys the first time ever in the history of Connecticut, where they had a female tag team versus a male tag team, and Gary Wolf was our manager. It was a great match.
Wow.
It was a great experience. Yeah.
It was
awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, such a she put the also another one who put the wrestling, for the female.
Oh God.
I mean, really.
Yeah. Jazz, man. When she came out there, she kicked ass and took names. That was great, man. She was just great in the ring there, and she just was a great worker and just told really good stories. She came out there and she was, to me, whenever I've seen Jazz, I never seen her happy. It's like she's ready to go out there and do business, man. That's what I loved about her, man. She's like, it's like, I'm coming here, I'm gonna do business, and I'm going home. That's what I loved about it. That is awesome. Joy says, "Don't judge her," because we're talking about Rhode Island. And Christopher said that it's the complete history of women's pro wrestling.
Yeah, the Circle of Champions, the film. Yeah. Okay. So Jazz and I are in the film. And it does a lot of highlights of amazing women throughout the history of pro wrestling. And Susan Tex Green is in it. I mean, there's so many women, and I can't name everybody. Plus, there's a bunch of men that talk about women's pro wrestling. And they pretty much, put us over. It's really going to be excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product.
Nice. That's amazing. I love that.
Everett, did you see her belt that she had before, the Spartan title? Ooh, did you see this?
No, I
say
nice.
Congratulations. But she's gonna add another title.
Yeah.
She's got 16
Yeah,
days.
that's a lot of gold there. I love it. I love it.
Well, I'm gonna give it a hell of a try. It's no guarantee. I'm all full of fire over what happened last time I had a match with Debbie, but she definitely was crafty and she got me. And I'm paying attention and I'm ready. I'm getting ready. I'm ready.
I'm so pumped for it. I cannot wait we're gonna have so much fun that night. It's gonna be.
Are you gonna be there, David?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be there.
Nice.
That's why I'm helping promote this and watch my favorite lady of wrestling right here. One of my favorites of all time. Growing up.
Heck yeah. I told David, I said, too bad I don't live up there next to where he lives, because me and him be going to wrestling shows like crazy, man.
I know.
my wife would be calling the event to make sure that it's like, make sure my husband comes home.
Actually,
have a good time.
Angel, his wife actually lived in, where did she live? She lived in why am I forgetting this? We'll be together for 10 years, married 10 years.
You're gonna have heat, brother. You're forgetting this. She better not be listening. Otherwise, you're like.
I think Middletown. She's from Middletown, Hazlitt, around there.
Yeah, that is where my family lives.
Yeah.
I went to Homedale High my junior year of high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
1 year. They were like, "Get that girl the hell out of here, man." Let me tell you, woo.
Yeah, he lives.
Oh boy, that was a handful.
He lives in Daytona. There's a couple wrestlings by him. There's a couple things by him in Daytona, right there, Everett.
I mean, there is one promotion. It was called Go Wrestle, and they haven't come back yet. I don't know what's happening with them, because they had some pretty good shows. They were doing a monthly show, and then they ended up doing weekly shows, which was really well. Back when here in Florida, everything pretty much went on in 2020 still, but a lot of like promotions like them did not run for a while. And then when they started back up again, I was there. Me and my friends were there at the first night of them coming back, after no one actually going to see wrestling around the area there. Packed house. They had a packed house even after bell time. 30 minutes after bell time, the promoter who's also a worker of the promotion, he had to come out and bring more chairs out for everybody, man, because people were dying to see some live wrestling, and they put on a hell of a show. I'll tell you, the people left that night happy. They left entertained, because everyone put it out on the line, because it's like, how long have you seen live wrestling? It's like these guys got out there. It didn't even look like they had any ring rust, which was great, so that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, all through 2020, I was well, not all through, but toward like the end there, I mean, I started training again, and I would just wear a mask. Once I got vaccinated, I was like, I'm down for getting back to life, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up me and my wife, we went ahead and did it. We had like 2 close calls of almost catching COVID. I said, I don't want to get that shit, man.
Yeah, I got it. Unfortunately, when I went to Vegas and I traveled, it was I was supposed to get a booster 6 months after, because I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and I didn't know that. And if I had known that, I would have done it before I went to Vegas. but I didn't, and I ended up getting it. I mean, you're on the plane with people, and they said that I got the Delta variant though. So
Yeah.
Oh, lost my earpiece. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, that Delta.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
That
Gotcha.
Delta, man. I wonder where they come up with the names, because when they're coming up with these names for this stuff, like the last one, Omicron, I was like, what's the next one going to be? Megatron? We're going to have Megatron? We're going to have the Optimus Megatron. What about that star screen? You know, have you got the star screen and the sound wave? Because that seemed like someone was watching Transformers 84 when they decided to, do this. It's like be sure to get your Grimlock, shot, because so you don't get sound wave.
But also, Angel, Everett also had a bar right next to his house. Guess who was there every day? That was his place, Jimmy Hart.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Well,
yeah, I went to Mouth of the South. Jimmy Hart had a place over in Daytona Beach. Jimmy Hart Hall of Fame Bar and Grill. I went out there and went and seen he would show wrestling pay-per-views. Went out there, got to talk to the Mouth of the South, got to pick his brain. I got to ask him a couple of questions I was curious about. One, I will say that I did ask him about Matilda and the British Bulldog. I was wanting to know about, did Matilda really hate him? And he told me what happened, and I was like, wow, that's great. But I'll tell you off camera. I won't tell you on camera what he told me, because I respect the Mouth of the South that much, But yeah, he's a great guy. Just to pick his brain and just ask him about different things and have him point out different things when you're watching wrestling right there, because he's been in the business that long.
I'm gonna step away for 5 minutes. Is that okay? Everett, take it away.
So I'm taking over your show. That's good, David.
Go ahead. Get me out of here.
Well, I just wanted to say, Daytona is a really special place to me, because I had my very first pro match in Daytona Beach at Biketoberfest at the Iron Horse Saloon against China.
I've been there. Wow. What year? When
1996? Yeah.
96.
Yes.
I was in Ohio at that time, but I've been to the Iron Horse, man. Wow. How was that? How was that?
That was awesome. And we were the first match. But I felt like, I had been training with her for about 6 weeks. She had been staying at Liz Chase's because she was trained by Killer Kowalski, but she was always working out with guys. And she really didn't have like the girl stuff, like what's some cool stuff that girls should include in their match. And so that's why she went. It was recommended to her to train with Liz. And then, so of course I was like, ooh, I knew she was going to be a big star in wrestling. So I would go down and train there like 3 or 4 times a week, at least. I was living in Fort Lauderdale, so it was kind of a hike for me. And I would train from the time I'd get there until it was totally dark and we couldn't see. And I would even go to the gym with her and work out. She was an amazing person. I have to tell you, she really inspired me, and I respected her and thought the world of her. She was so straight edge. She wouldn't even drink a glass of wine or any alcohol at all when I knew her. Yeah.
Wow. That's I mean, being there at Biketoberfest, you said, and with all the bikers and stuff and everything going on, man. I mean, there's a lot of alcohol being passed around, so that's being pretty damn strong. Like mentally, you're not going to be straight edge and not do it, because that's some respect right there. I mean, that's her choice.
She lived her life like very, very disciplined. She measured out her food. She her meals were timed out, and she was very disciplined when I knew her. And I mean, she was living at the house, so I mean, I saw her with my own two eyes how she was living her life, and it was very different than how she ended up. But it made a tremendous impact on me, and she was my role model, and I lived my life like that. And I, actually competed in bodybuilding again after 1996 and 1999. And, part of that was she inspired me.
Right.
Yeah, she was a great person. She was a very positive, very encouraging, and she was a very girly girl. She was so into costumes, and like I didn't know anything about makeup and stuff like that. She was helping me learn that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. That she left that impression on you, and you still do it to this day, correct?
Oh yeah. I measure my food still. Yeah, I'm vegan now and gluten-free. So I'm even more disciplined,
Yeah.
And
mentally, you got to be strong for that. I like that. I like that. I was trying to find the right word to say.
Well, I'm an animal rights activist. Yeah, so that's why I'm vegan, because I don't want to participate in animals dying. And I think there's enough death and destruction. I'd rather just destroy crap in the ring.
Yes.
I want to
get out on the ring there and take it out.
Save it all up. Yeah, save it all up for there. Yeah, that's it.
Since you said vegan, I went one time a week without eating meat, and it messed my body up big time. My body went it just felt different, because I said to my wife, I said, I'm not going to eat meat no more. She said, you're not? I said, no, I'm like meat, ground beef. No, I said, I'm gonna do chicken, protein. I'm going to stick to protein. I'll do chicken, tuna, and, stuff like that. And she's like, okay. So during the end of that week of not eating one piece of meat, my body was just like, it's like almost, it felt like, I kind of almost felt like what probably a drug addict coming off drugs, weaning off.
Yes.
My body was like, I need meat. And I was like, I did it just cold turkey, which I shouldn't have. I should have just slowly winged myself off of it. I was like, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine. No meat. And all of a sudden it's like, it's like The Walking Dead, man. I wanted some flesh or something.
Speaking of like meals and food and Angel, like what was like a cheat meal after a show? What would you enjoy? What's your favorite, like after a workout, or you just want to eat a great steak or cheeseburger?
She's vegan, David. She's vegan. She can't say that. You can't say that.
I don't do that anymore. I used to like having, back in the day when I was eating meat, I would have a steak.
Yeah.
But now I do a tuna steak, an ahi tuna, like rare. But now I'm even not doing fish anymore. So, big salad with some portobello mushrooms.
Ooh, those are good.
I love salad. I eat salad. Actually, I had salad tonight. I had salad tonight. I like getting white rice, boiling some broccoli, and I know you don't eat meat, but for me, I like throwing a little bit of chicken in there, have some chicken and rice, and broccoli. I just love that. Rice, I can sit there and eat a big bowl of rice, man, because I just love that stuff. I did last week. I tried Thai food for the first time. Yeah,
I love spicy food. I love it.
Yeah, I did one at the restaurant we went to at work there boss took us out for lunch there, and I was like, I've never had Thai food, so I just followed what everyone else did. And then they're like, how hot? And I was like, and they spoke up for me and they said, give him a 1. And one guy said 5, and he got 5, and he's sitting there, and I think he was crying as he eating his stuff. And we were joking. He said, I think when I said 5, they were back there like, huh, we'll show this American. Put everything in there.
Foolish, man. Don't mess with the Thai food. You go down in flames, literally on the inside.
Absolutely.
He did. He probably paid for it later, Angel.
Probably.
He probably did. Now I did hear you mention, I do want to ask this here. I did hear that you mentioned about women's wrestling on Pluto TV, which I do watch on Pluto TV. I do watch the Pro Wrestling Channel, and they show a lot of stuff on there. They even show Glow on there, the original Glow. Were you ever into the original Glow?
I don't think so. I don't remember it. Yeah, it wasn't like when I was a kid, I was not a TV kid. I was a maniac. Gymnastics. I was competing in track. I was into collecting ribbons, first place ribbons. Like I was a very motivated kid. And like I said, I didn't want to be in my house. You know, my house, it wasn't stable when I was a little kid. So I just didn't want to be there. So TV wasn't really my thing. I can say that I vaguely remember that there was girl wrestling, but I really remember Coco Beware.
Yes.
Because I had a bird. I had a parrot when I was a little girl, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love this whole thing when you come out with that bird. Oh, man, I love that. That was great.
Nice. Coco Beware, man. Coco Beware.
Yes.
Was a great character.
He was a great character.
I'll never forget Time Angel. I actually went to I was in Chicago for a wrestling show, and I went to that t-shirt store, the wrestling tee store, and there he was. Oh. He's like, how you doing, man? Like, and Tito Santana, of course, we know him. He's our local friend. He's like, hi, David. How are you? He knows who we are. You know, it's crazy to see people we know. It's, you know, wrestling wise, you know.
Tito Santana.
Chico.
Yeah.
He's a lovely guy.
He's great. Guy. I never met him, but I'm a fan. I loved his work in the ring and what he did, his ring work and stuff.
Tito Santana and Rick Martel, right?
Martel.
Yes, the model.
Yes,
I think those were some great matches. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, right? He also wrestled. Yeah. Still has the best arm drag in the business, Ricky the Dragon.
Let me tell you this, Angel. Also, as you said earlier to me and Everett, I just sent him a couple notes. Luna Fashawn. Oh my gosh, really great. Oh, you got to work.
She was a friend of mine, even outside of wrestling, and I didn't know her like the maniac side of her. She wasn't like that with me. We lived in the same neighborhood, and like she was different with me. We used to talk. We would go for these walks through the neighborhood when she was in town, and she always had this thing. Like she had such a big, huge heart for people who she thought didn't have anybody. Like she would befriend little old ladies that were just like abandoned in a trailer, you know, and she cared about them and would go water their plants and check on them and make sure that they had food and stuff like that. And she'd be like, come on, we're going to go deliver some, I got a box of food for so-and-so. Like she was a real sweetheart, and she would talk to me, and we had a different friendship, I think, than she probably did with a lot of other women.
Yeah.
And she encouraged me in my martial arts. You know, she knew my story. she shared some stuff with me, and then when I got involved in pro wrestling, she was like so over the moon happy. She was like, and she felt fiercely protective of me, because there are a lot of women in pro wrestling that were just super jealous, and they really treated new girls like shit, like really bad. Like there were some girls in this business that actually called some girl's mom and said that she was gang banging the boys at the school and doing drugs. Called her mom and told this to her mom. Like, all I gotta say is those girls, they did some things to me, and I handled my business with them. They are freaking lucky that they didn't know my mama, because you would ever call my family. Let me tell you something. All bets are off, bitch. You ain't living. No. You don't roll that way.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what,
there are some treacherous people, but Luna was not one of them.
She was such a great wrestler. Like she had the character. She just, her role, was just so great. And then we miss her. God rest her soul.
She contributed to a lot of people's careers. She would always give guys and girls advice on how, and she would watch their match and really cared and would spend time and tell them. I mean, she was my role model, and so I would do that too, But she was a badass, dude. You didn't never want her to get pissed at me. She would rip your face off. Absolutely.
Getting her voice there going, and she really, she
was tough. I remembered from what I remember of Luna was her run in WWE when she was at the Oddities, when she came out with the Oddities, Insane Clown Posse. I that was Attitude Era, man. I loved that.
Everett, we had this Angel and I know we have this Cardi promotion. It was called NWS, and we had these guys dressed up as the Oddities to pay tribute all the time. Remember that?
Nice.
Angel? Oh my God.
Nice. I like
Yes, I remember.
The guy had a Cartman doll. He carried a Cartman doll to the ring.
I forget their names.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
I think I remember one of the guys, Kurgan, the big guy Kurgan. The last time I seen Kurgan was in the movie Pacific Rim. That was like one of the big things for him. He was doing movies, and that was one of his big roles there he did in the movie Pacific Rim. That's the last time I seen Kurgan, because when he was on screen, I said, "Is that Kurgan?" And all of a sudden, like the Oddity song jumped in my head, and I was like, "Yeah, that's Kurgan, all right." I mean,
God,
he's come a long way since the Oddities, man. He's fighting monsters in mechanic suits.
Because I remember Angel also, because we've had her on a couple of shows and they would be ringside, and she'd yell at them. It was great. Remember, like they would
heckling
her. Yeah, they would heckle her.
Heckling. I love asking this, David. Can I ask this? I love asking because you brought up heckling. Heckling. Angel, heckling. What moment do you that sticks out that when you're out there in a match and the crowd, you get the hecklers? Do you have any stories of some hecklers? I love hearing heckler stories.
I'm ECW. So, and I would do promos live at ECW shows. So you can't heckle me. I have destroyed and demolished. I will chew you up and spit you out. You don't heckle me. First off, you should care about my match, because, they're usually pretty optimal performances. But the few people who've ever tried, have been utterly destroyed and laughed out of the building. So I would say if you're a heckler, your best bet is to heckle somebody who's not an ECW original, because Teflon, baby.
Wow. I just because I hear so many stories about how when you're doing your job as a heel when you got grandma getting ready to come over the barricade at you. You know you've done your job that night.
She's had those too in her career.
Yeah, my mom, God rest her soul. She passed away this past September, and
Aw, I'm so sorry, dear.
yeah, she lived a good life. 79 years. She lived a really good life. She worked 2 jobs, raised 4 boys. I'm the youngest of her 4 boys, and she did everything she could to raise us. And the one thing that I loved was taking her out to going to see wrestling because she'd get into it. We went out to go wrestle, and we went and seen her show one night, and she's sitting right next to me. She's coming up out of the chair, and she's like, kick him, punch him. One of the guys almost broke kayfabe because he looked back because he was getting a kick out of my mom. And during the main event, they had a ladder, and they came out through the crowd there, and my mom was right there, and the guy came by with the ladder, and he's beating the guy as he's going by us, and my mom stood right there, and she stuck her finger up, and she said, "You quit hitting him, you leave him alone." And the guy and was like, "Whoa, didn't expect it." And the other guys everyone just got a kick out of my mom that night because she got into it. And my mom said, "You don't put that ladder down, I'm going to whip your ass." It was so funny. It was hilarious. And I'm sitting there, and at first I'm like, like this. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. It's like, yeah, you tell him, Mom. You tell him.
Angel also Everett had a friend who looked the part of Jake the Snake Roberts. Really look every show he'd be in the crowd.
My friend Tony. We went to a Go Wrestle show that night, and my friend Tony, my friend Tommy, who he did one last run this year. Yeah, yes. Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, last year he did one more run in wrestling, and we went to a Go Wrestle show, and we're sitting up at the front row, and we were the guys like Steve. You'd hear the story about Steve Austin talking about going out to wrestling and just causing, like heckling. So we did a little bit of heckling, having a good time, and during one of the main events, Tony started heckling. And the guy turned around and looked and said, "Oh, is that Jake Roberts? Jake Roberts is here, ladies and gentlemen." And everyone got kind of excited. And my friend Tommy was like, "No, that's not Jake Roberts. It's Jim Roberts. That's his brother." He does everything: mustache, hair, everything.
Actually, shout out to Jake the Snake. He's not doing too good right now. I've seen him.
Oh no!
I know. Prayers up to fight it. He got to fight. We don't, because his oxygen. He's had that tank on him. I've noticed that lately in wrestling, and it was on they put something on Twitter or someplace that he was not.
Yeah, Jake. I love Jake Roberts. My favorite move in wrestling is DDT. His DDT. It's just boom. That's it. So quick. One of my favorite wrestling.
What was Luna's move? What was her finisher? I cannot. Oh my gosh! If we go back,
she used to do a splash she like a Vader splash, and she would do the DDT because I think that was what David used to. It's like an impaler, so it's like a version of a DDT.
And what are you currently using, Angel? What's your finisher? Ooh.
Oh well, I'm glad that you asked. So, I am using the Rings of Saturn.
Yeah,
I'm into
Saturn.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back, baby. Because, my submission game is where it's at. I used to do a lot of suplexes. For a while, I was the female suplexing machine. And I had the Kiss of Death. So that was my finisher. But, yeah, I'm up in my submission game, so that's where it's at. I'm all about the Rings of Saturn, baby.
The Rings of Saturn. Perry Saturn, man. I what I like about ECW, my first time ever seeing and hearing about ECW was back in 97. Okay. 97, 98, right around there, my senior year of high school. My parents had DirecTV. And so I'm flipping through DirecTV, and all of a sudden I see this advertisement for ECW. I'm like, what is ECW? And they're showing footage and stuff, and I was like, oh my God. I called up my cousin. I'm like, he had DirecTV. I'm like, dude, go over to channel 228, 9, whatever it was out of the million channels they had. I said, dude, you got to see this wrestling, man. You got to see this. And I was
got
like,
a story for Angel. I got a story for Angel.
What's that, David?
I also have a story for Angel about ECW.
So,
I was 18 years old. I worked in a dollar store, and I guess next door was the Big and Tall store. Big and Tall clothing store. And this guy walks into the dollar store. I'm stocking the shelves. And somebody's like, that's the ECW wrestler. That's Balls Mahoney.
Oh, Balls.
Yes. And I didn't know about ECW really until I, dove into it after. But then of course we became friends, and
he was great. I miss him. I miss him and Jack. But I know that they're having great matches up there. In the great ring in the sky, man. They're definitely tearing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Everett, what do you got? A fan question there? Think more fan questions going?
Yes, I do.
Let's close this out.
Christopher. He's on fire with these with his questions and everything tonight.
Okay.
Tuning in tonight, Christopher. He says on March 26th, New England Music Hall of Fame, and I will be sponsoring Angel for ECW Icons.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
I'll be there doing the signing on the 26th. Yes, please come and visit. I don't sell pictures, on my website yet. So anybody who wants a photo op, it's probably going to be a few more. It's probably not going to be until like next month or maybe even longer than that until I start having photographs available. So definitely come out on the 26th and get me to sign your stuff. I'll gladly do it. I know that there's a lot of people out there who've been, doing photo ops and taking photos at matches and stuff. I'm happy to sign stuff. Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Please go out and meet Angel. Please, if you're out there, please go out there and show your support. Please. I'll do. I do.
Yeah, I bought a special dress just to wear for everybody.
There you go, man. Show up. If I lived up there, I'd be out there. I'd be stopping by saying hi. I definitely will.
I got the goods.
Yeah.
I do want to ask one last question here before we take it home.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to ask you, Paul Heyman, just where with ECW up with his career up to where he's at now and what he's doing in WWE. I mean, I don't watch WWE heavily like I do, but I do read stuff here and there, what's going on and stuff. But where Paul Heyman's at now, what are your thoughts on just his career going from EC, like even like Paulie Dangerously, WCW, ECW, is WWE, into where he's at now and stuff? What are your thoughts about Paul Heyman on his career
journey?
His journey.
I think it's pretty amazing. He's had a really amazing career, and he did it, just being brilliant and really being a naturally talented person. I'll always be forever grateful to him and Tommy Dreamer for the opportunity they gave me in ECW and all the input that they gave me
I bet you were scared. I bet you were scared to get in, ECW at that time. I mean, you're really just a new person. They're like, here we go. This is a new opportunity for me in your career. It was as well.
It was intimidating because the truth is that out of all the three, in my opinion, at that time, ECW was the best wrestling on TV.
It was.
I just thought it was just innovative, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. So I'm grateful. I'll always be grateful, and they did impart a lot of wisdom to me, and polish me up, and but I think that they're brilliant people. Everybody that was ever in ECW, the people that I got to work with, I am forever grateful to all of them. I mean, they all helped me be a better version of me. They all took time and imparted to me. It was an honor to be in that locker room, and I mean that from all that I am, body, soul, and spirit. I've always done the best that I can to honor that. Like I come from martial arts, so when you come from a locker room, I feel it's like you honor your dojo, and I always try to carry that with me. Wherever I go, it's not just about me. I also represent ECW and what it means to be an ECW original.
Yes.
And also to have that kind of match and bring it home, all the way home. But I will say that Paul Heyman is a genius, absolutely. And he is, still revealing his talent to the world. And he deserves to have that spot because he is that amazing. And, I try to aspire to, he's still my role model. That's why I call myself the wrestling revelation, that I'm still, I try to honor that because I think that that's what it means to be ECW. So
amazing. I love it.
We're going to talk about her. We talked about it earlier about her match against Debbie. This coming 16 days away. We're only 16 days away, Titan, as she is taken around for the title. Oh, this is going to be
nice.
A night to remember, just
absolutely. I'm coming for vengeance, man. I definitely want retribution, and I take it seriously. I'm not going to underestimate Debbie again. I've been training with the guys. I've been training with the bigger guys so that I can handle the lifts, get my hips popping the way I need to pull some, suplexes, to do some moves that I need to do to get her in a position to slap the rings of Saturn on her. I mean, that's what it's all about for me. I'm all about it. I'm living for it. Yeah. And
also we're looking forward to that. There's a Fatal Four. There's another women's match, so it's going to be great to see the women's wrestling as well. Also, you have Riley Shepard, who's just off a fresh match of hers at AEW Dark a couple weeks ago, on this past week, and also a part of Mission Pro Wrestling. Shout out to Thunder Rosa and that promotion they're going to be doing some big things with her for the collective, for Game Changers Collective this year down in Dallas, Texas. That is going to be insane. There's a lot of females. There's a whole bunch of female that we know on the Angel. It's crazy, all the ladies that we know. It's good. It's good to showcase.
It is. It's important. Women need to have strong role models, even not just little girls, not just teenagers, but women to women.
That's like Mercedes Martinez. She was her tag team partner forever. She's on AEW all the time. It's just amazing. We're proud of her.
I think some of the best matches I've ever had have been with Mercedes. Mercedes and I did 2 steel cage matches. We've done ladder match. We did an Iron Woman match. We wrestled for 67 minutes straight.
Oh man, no way.
Yeah.
I gotta see that. I gotta look that up, man.
Go back and watch
WSU. Yes, WSU.
It's on IWTV, so you're set.
Yeah, I got IWTV. I love all the wrestling I see on IWTV. I love it. Like last weekend, I about had to tap out because I watched so much wrestling over the weekend. Friday night, seriously, Freelance Underground. Me and David, we hooked up and we watched it, and we're sitting there. We'll jump on here, and we'll like share the screen, and we'll sit back, we'll sit there, and we'll have some snacks and talk about it. And like, ooh, what do you think of that? Oh man, that was cool. It's like,
we'll watch.
Also, we're like prospecting. It's like,
but we're watching ladies. We're also watching the ladies match. We're watching the ladies that are catching the wave of that are around, like the young Billy's, like the young Billy Starks, and just a lot of people that are really trending the way that.
If you guys get a chance to watch WEW on Pluto TV, you'll see Angelina Love and Tracy Brooks, and you'll also see George Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And
God rest her soul too. Oh my God,
I seen that on Pluto TV, Angel, one night on the Pro Wrestling Channel. There, I was like, I never seen it before. I watched a little bit of. I'm like, women's hardcore wrestling. I'm like, dude, where the hell have I been? It's like, wow, this is great. They were tearing it up, man, but it came out so late. I'm like at the point that I'm like exhausted, and I hate doing this to myself. When I'm exhausted, I'll put on.
Oh no!
Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, no.
Did her battery die?
Oh shit, Everett.
Oh, her phone died. Oh, shiznick.
Take off our.
Why did you even say that word?
Take our logos off of here. Okay. Oh,
what are you doing? You lost her guest. Her phone died.
Oh no, Angel.
Anything happens live. Oh man. Damn. Let's give her about 5 minutes and see if she comes back. Hey, everyone that's viewing, we're sorry, man. When these things don't have the greatest life of a battery, I mean, they last 2 years, and the cell phone company wants you to buy another one. That's how they take your money. That's just me. But damn, what'd you do, David? Did you? No, I'm just messing with you. What'd you do, David?
Oh, damn it! Was it one of
She's back.
Hey, technology power died. Right? We're taking.
Yeah.
We're closing. Her power went out. I know it. Power phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess it wasn't plugged in all the way, and it died on us. I apologize.
Hey, Angel, anything happens live on a live podcast, and it's not the first. You're not the first guest to ever have their phone die on a podcast. All good.
Angel,
all good.
I want to say thank
you.
Here, you want to plug away all you want right now before you go, before your phone dies again.
I just got to connect the Bluetooth again.
All right.
Okay. Take your time. Take your time.
But anyway, Paul Heyman, where are you? Everett? Where's Paul Heyman?
I don't know. You got his number? Paul. Where you at? Paul Lee Dangerously?
I have a 911. I have a 911's number. Oh.
I got that joke. Man.
I like my joke.
I know what you're talking about. As soon as you said I got 911's number, ECW.
Yeah,
wrestling. I knew exactly what you're talking about. That's why I was laughing. Yes. Anyone that's tuning in that don't know about wrestling and they're like, what's he talking about? It's 911. It's all good.
Shout out to 911. I ought to dig him out. Ooh,
I got 911. Try saying that to a millennium nowadays, David, to see what happens.
Yeah.
They're gonna be searching on their phone for 911. I'd do it just to watch them.
Yeah. So anyway, fans,
trying to find 911 on
we
their
had a lot.
phone.
We had a lot.
How do you fuse Millennium? Tell them to look for 911 on their phone.
While we're waiting for our guest to come back, and here she is.
There she is.
Yes, the one and only. There she is. Before we close this out and call it a night, and plug all you want, and let's call it a night.
Take it home. It's all. The floor is yours, Angel.
You still there?
She's still trying to connect her Bluetooth, I think. Yeah. She's trying to connect her Bluetooth. Because the headphones. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn headphones.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's trying.
Okay.
Wow.
Technology.
Just say what you have. Yeah, that's okay. Just plug.
She can't, David. She can't hear you right now.
Oh.
Yeah, she can't.
It's like your phone. It's like your thing was dead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yours. You have the headphones. You know, the Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
That's what she has. The Bluetooth.
Oh, the little tiny speaker.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it.
Yes. Yeah. You have to connect those to your phone. Yes. She's looking. She's just give her some time. Just give her time.
People time. But anyway, Everett, well, here we are.
Yes.
Look at her. She's like, all right, I'm going to get this.
Technology.
Always.
That's the thing I hate about technology. They never make anything easy nowadays. No. They never make anything easy to operate. They never make anything to last.
When your batteries go, it's like batteries just need to be charged. And
yeah, that's one thing that kills me about technology, especially these things, man. These things just they can be a pain in the butt. They can, you know.
I keep these charged. Yeah, I know.
You know, like the manufacturers for these things,
I think
she's getting frustrated. I understand her frustrated, man, because like there's some people. It's funny that if this thing dies, their like whole life is ruined and stuff. But
it's an explosion.
I went like 2-3 months without a phone. I did because I grew up in the era of 56K.
Yeah.
So
let's try this one.
Better.
All right.
There we go. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? 1, 2.
Yes, Angel. I was right there with your frustration. Damn technology. I've been there before.
We all been there.
At times, I wanted to take this thing and.
You guys sounded like that song from Ferris Bueller. Oh yeah, the deep voice, but only it was not audible or not cool at all.
You mean the deep voice like this? Oh, wow.
Yeah, yes. Never. But Eddie. Come on. Oh yeah.
Come on.
Shh. Dang.
What?
My dog's had to go potty. Sorry.
Yeah, my dog is like laid out on the floor over here. It looks like he's just like comatose right now. So he's cool. He ain't scratching my leg to go out yet.
What kind of dog do you have?
Yeah, my dogs are mad at you guys right now. They're like, "This is our dinner time, dudes."
I know. I feel bad. But anyway, Angel, feel free to plug what you got going on, and we're gonna get out of here. Call it a night.
Okay.
Take it home.
So yes, you guys got to come. Union, New Jersey, February 27th. I'm defending the Spartan Championship title belt in a 3-way dance against PJ Whip and Ashley A. Rustler. And I will bring the ECW with me when I do it. And then March 12th versus Debbie Kane for Funhouse Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
Grateful that they're giving me another chance for redemption and retribution, and I will be bringing the noise. Yes. Bayville, New Jersey.
Make some noise. Woo. Eddie, that's it.
Get some.
Get some.
Get some. That's right. That's right, man. I want to throw this out here. Brandon Wolf just hit me up and he said, I've died many a times on a podcast, and he feels he knows what was going through, Angel. I just
thank you.
wanted to share that with you. We were all right
we
there. We
always have our technology failures.
Yes.
But Angel,
yes, technology is great when it works. It works.
But I want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
And I will see you in 16 days.
Yes. And people should stay connected to me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am the Angel Orsini, and also on TikTok. And my website is angelorsini.net. And I will be relaunching my website, and we'll be getting that done actually very soon. I hope to have that done by March 12th.
Awesome, Angel.
Nice.
As always, please, you're more than welcome to come on anytime. Like I love.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Stay safe, be well, and I'll see you guys soon.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everett Lee.
Yes.
What a great night for a podcast. Was that like you got to learn a lot about a lady who was in ECW?
I did. And I wish she would have hit me up sooner.
But we did,
because I would have planned more ahead of time. But I like the spring stuff on me, man. But all good, brother. All
isn't
good.
That awesome? Her career, you gotta have to go back and watch WSU. We're actually.
I'm gonna have to WSU. I'm gonna have to go back on there. Definitely watch some stuff on there because this is great, man. This is great. This is awesome. And everyone that jumped in here tonight,
shout out. I want to say shout out.
I want to give a shout out to everyone. Christopher, Joy. I want to give a shout out to you, Dustin. We're on the Everett Lee show. I'm over talking you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're gonna have to look at this Christian guy. Maybe talk with him. Get in touch with him, Everett. I think he's somebody to talk with on our pod. I don't know about the movie or something. Was that the one or no?
It's right there in the chat.
Is he right there in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's go. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yeah.
Yes, everyone. Thank you for jumping in there. Shout out again to Christopher, Joy, and Dustin. Dustin was on last night with on the Everett Lee show there with
I think we're gonna have to give him one of our. He's going to be our top fan on our stars list. We'll have to get him a star. I don't know. And be
you got any stars? Or did you take it from me?
You could probably give him one too.
I'll give him one. I'll give him one. I need to set up my fan thing on Podbeam. I need to set that up, and I've been trying to push that.
Everett, but do I have anything this weekend? Nothing. Oh no, we have nothing. I have nothing. What do you have?
Are you sure? What about? Well, Sunday? There's something in the works. There's something in the works right now. But can I mention what I got going on next week?
Go for Everett. Take it away.
Take it away. All right. Well, this is what I got going on next week right here. Boom. Next Tuesday night, March 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Podbeam live stream. My guest will be none other than indie wrestler Brandon Wolf on the Everett Lee Show, Tuesday night, 8 p.m.
Man,
you can check out Everett Lee Show over on Podbeam, everettleeshow.podbeam.com. and you can check out when the episode links are available on Facebook, Everett Lee Show, on Facebook and Twitter at the Everett Lore Score Lee. And that's what I got going on next.
I just want to say, fans, be sure you tune in and check that out, because he's one of those guys that's a hard-working wrestler that needs to be seen.
He's hot right now. He's hot
on the scene at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling. And we want to give a shout out to the whole roster and to everybody on the roster and the owners of the promotion. And just they are doing new generation
amazing stuff over there. You're a wrestling fan. You're a wrestling fan. You're gonna love.
Go on YouTube. Go just Google Grindhouse Pro Wrestling. Go to YouTube. Grindhouse Wrestling. Go to IWTV. Type in Grindhouse Wrestling. It might be on IWTV, and you can see what they're all about. You'll be blown away.
Exactly.
And that's a wrap, Everett, because I don't have anything. Do I have anything? What do I got? Nothing.
Nothing right now. One last thing. Podcast C Network. Your top source for independent podcasts, and be creative, be yourself. Podcastc.net.
Shout out to all our people on the Podcast City Network. We have such shows as such shows as the Everett Lee Show, the Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Final Score Podcast. My gosh, they are knocking it out. Fans, if you're a sports fan, please like and subscribe. And
PC and Sports.
Get PC and Sports. Get all your sports
Final
news.
Score.
Final Score for this. Yes. And
yes. Also, shout out to the Imaginarium with Scott and Todd. Next week, they will be releasing their 300th episode. 300. Holy crap, dude. 300 episodes.
Let's give them a clap. We'll give them a round. Oh, do you have a soundboard? No sounds.
My soundboard's not up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it's up for the night. But yes.
But anyway, good to them for releasing a brand new episode. We like them and
300.
Support them.
David, 300 episodes.
That's a lot. Whatever. I don't even know what am I up to? 500? I don't know. I don't even know. 500,
Mr. 500. I should nickname you Mr. 5000.
Yeah. But anyway, Everett, what else? Just stay tuned, fans. You'll never know what the Everett Deathmatch Russell and Everett Lee have in store for you next. That's all.
You never know. You never know. Yes. We're getting out of here. We're gonna head out into the sunset. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. And here's a brief closing from Deathmatch Russell. You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcast on the following. Just hit the like button and share. You can hear the audio portion of Deathmatch Russell podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. Social media, Deathmatch Russell podcast on Facebook, Twitter at DavidNJ32, Instagram, DavidNJ36, YouTube, David C. Russell, and DeathmatchRussellPodcast.com. Podcast C Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself. PodcastCity.net. Facebook, Podcast C Network. Twitter at Podcast City Net. Deathmatch Russell Podcast merchandise available. PodcastCity.net/shop. Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Head over to WrestlingWithJoners.com. Follow them on Facebook, Joners Wrestling Podcast Network. Twitter at with Joners _pod. I want to mention Collar and Elbow. collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
Podcast City Network.